We finally got gameplay for Xbox's Indiana Jones game, but did it live up to expectations? Let's talk about it. Hello there everybody and welcome to The Comfy Spot. My name is Tyler and today we are going to be talking about none other than Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Yes, we finally know the name of Xbox and MachineGames' Indiana Jones game. After many years of wondering and many years of speculation, we finally know the name, and it came part of Xbox's developer direct that happened as well. And during the showcase we got a look at a bunch of different other games. Avowed got a nice good look, Hellblade 2 got a nice good look, and a May 21st release date that's coming up soon. Visions of Mana appeared, that got a nice little gameplay look and confirmed coming to Xbox obviously this summer as well. And Our History Untold appeared with a nice overview deep dive into that game as well. But the headlining title of this entire developer direct was none other than Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Going into it, there were a lot of wonders, a lot of questions, a lot of expectations about how this game was going to be, what it was going to look like, what we were hoping and expecting from it. It's MachineGames working on it, the renowned developers behind Wolfenstein New Blood and The New Order, I believe, is what the two games were called, if I'm correct. I might be mixing up DLC titles in that as well, but they had them behind it. Of course, it's Indiana Jones, beloved character, beloved franchise, and all. It's been a while since there was an Indiana Jones game. Of course, and then there's also the fact that Uncharted and Tomb Raider have come into the gaming space, of course, clearly inspired by Indiana Jones and all. And they've kind of taken a whole lot of the shine and really defined action-adventure, globe-trotting games on, in the video game space. So now Indiana Jones, what's it going to be like? What we're going to get from it? And overall, to me at least, I would say that it exceeded all expectations that I had for it. Let's talk the facts first about Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. First off, yes, of course we're playing as Indiana Jones, but notably, the game is a first-person game. There is some third-person in there during cutscenes and where you're doing some environmental traversals, such as climbing up walls using your whip, or when you're like zip-lining or something like that. There will be third-person, but the core gameplay, the moment-to-moment gameplay, is going to be basically first-person. And I know this is something that people were wondering about, people were really curious about, because it's MachineGames. Both the Wolfenstein games are first-person. People were wondering, okay, this will most likely be, an action-adventure type of game. Is it going to be first-person, or will it take inspiration from Uncharted and Tomb Raider and other action-adventure games and make it third-person? But nope, it is sticking first-person. Now, the trailer we saw showed a whole lot of stuff. We saw Indiana Jones in the desert and forests and frozen mountains and museums and tombs and everything. So a lot of puzzle solving, a lot of combat with the whip and all, a whole lot of stuff. We saw the antagonist in the game, the antagonist called Emmerich Voss as well. And then we also saw Indiana Jones' companion that's going to be with him in this game. Her name is called Gina. She's the secondary protagonist as well. She's an investigative reporter who's been tracking the story that Indiana Jones finds himself caught up in, and she ends up working alongside Indiana Jones to uncover and unravel the mystery behind what's going on here. So those are just the base level facts right there about Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Now, one key thing about Indiana Jones is the sense of adventure that you get from watching an Indiana Jones movie. Indiana Jones, it's all about that adventure, going across the world, going to different places, getting caught up in the not like extravagant fights with people, but like, we go to like, just like, oh, we're gonna go into this tomb to look for this, and the next thing we know, we got the Nazis coming after us. It's like, oh shit, we gotta get away from the Nazis, we gotta stop the Nazis here, or fight the Nazis, and so on and so forth. And it just feels, real popcorn, real fun, and real exciting. I mean, of course, in the gaming space, we've seen that be basically carried on with the Uncharted series and Tomb Raider as well. So with an Indiana Jones game, you want that to be here. And watching this trailer, watching this gameplay, it's very clear that they are nailing that sense of adventure with Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Just tonally, from the gameplay we saw as well, they're really nailing it, and it just welled up this like sense of nostalgia and excitement in me that I was like, oh man, I really want to play this. I really want to experience this Indiana Jones story. Another key fact that I forgot to mention is the fact that Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is going to be set in between Raiders of the Lost Ark and the Great Crusade. So chronologically, if I'm correct and I'm up to date on my Indiana Jones knowledge, this would be the third Indiana Jones story, coming after Temple of Doom first, Raiders of the Lost Ark second, this one will be third, Great Crusade fourth, and then Crystal Skull fifth, and then Dial of Destiny last, and of course you got like the young Indiana Jones stuff before that, and then I don't know where the Fate of Atlantis game falls in terms of like the chronology and everything like that. Another key piece of information is also the fact that, as you can see, they did get Harrison Ford's likeness for Indiana Jones's face. It is not him voicing Indiana Jones, though. It is none other than Troy Baker. And I have to say, Troy, my man, you are doing a scary, dead-on accurate impersonation, voice alike, sound alike of Harrison Ford. It is scary how good it is. Like, I could tell it wasn't Harrison, but man, it is scary how much he sounds like Harrison. So great job to him on that one. Now, I want to talk about the puzzle solving when it comes to the game. We saw a couple puzzles happening, going on, some like putting gears into things, moving knobs, pulling levers and everything like that, platforms moving out from under Indiana, giant doors opening and stuff. The puzzles, they seem really interesting, they seem really cool. I'm excited to get into this and again do puzzles, because as they talked about during the developer direct, they talked about how, you know, when you're Indiana Jones, a big part of it is using your wits, using your brain, thinking before, you know, you end up having to do like the big action-packed set piece type things and all like that. So of course puzzles are going to be a big part of it, and the puzzles I'm seeing, I'm interested in them, I'm looking forward to them. They did say that there will be puzzles as part of the main storyline, but a lot of the puzzles are going to be optional for people who want to go off the beaten path and who really want to do more of those. There'll be optional puzzles that you can look for and find, and they'll have their own secrets that you can uncover by completing them as well. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing just the different variety of puzzles that we end up encountering and all. Just seeing, you know, how intricate they get, how in-depth they get, how hard they are. I'm looking forward to doing some of these puzzles that we're going to be coming across in the game. Now, the next thing that I really want to touch on is the fact that it is a first-person game, and I know for many that might have been a bit touch and go, and even now it still might be touch and go after seeing it. In the lead up to the game's announcement, I was a bit hesitant on the game being a first-person game. I was open to it, but I would have preferred it being third-person. After seeing the game in action and seeing gameplay and watching this section of the developer direct more than once, I can say for certain now that I am all on board with it being first person. I was never against it being first person. Again, would have preferred third person, was open to first person, and seeing it in first person and all, I am 100% on board. I am loving this direction that they're taking the game in, because again, it will really put you in the shoes of Indiana Jones and really make you feel like you are Indiana Jones, as cliche as that might sound. And I'm down for that idea. And on top of that, again, Uncharted, Tomb Raider are out there. Having it be first person, Indiana Jones be first person, it'll really help differentiate it and help stave off the comparisons a bit more from the Uncharted's and Tomb Raiders and other action adventure games that have taken inspiration from it over the years, and make it feel more like its own unique thing. And that's nothing more than a plus right there. It's just a big plus right there in the game's favor. Now I want to talk about the combat for Indiana Jones and the Giant and the Great Circle. The Giant Circle. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Combat is looking interesting. They definitely said, you know, fist fighting is going to be a part of it. We saw plenty of that happening in the trailer and the footage we saw. They did fully confirm that, you know, you will be able to use a gun, whether it be your revolver or weapons that you get from other enemies. But yes, you can and will be using your whip quite a bit in combat. We saw Indiana using it to trip up enemies. He was disarming enemies. He was using it to spin enemies around, pull them closer towards him. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun using the whip in combat. I'm very excited to see the different ways in which you can use it in combat, and what other little fun like combo type things you can do, like whip an enemy on the ground and pull up your revolver and pop them down like that. Something easy like that, or more intricate things. I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Or whip an enemy, pull them towards you, and then pow, just punch them on down. Just stuff like that looks like it'll be a lot of fun. And then aside from combat, there's also the stealthy aspect of things. They talked about how, again, you can use your whip in stealth, whether that be, we saw Indiana whip an enemy that was walking on a bridge above him, was whipping, pull him on down. You can use the whip to distract enemies for stealth, so he used the whip to crack it and like draw enemies' attention over one direction while he snuck around them from the back. That seems really cool. Also with stealth, we saw like Indiana like walking along the edge of a windowsill on the outside of a building over some enemies. There was also, you can like sneak up behind enemies and like hit them over the head and stun them down like that, or take a like a hammer or a rock and toss them at enemies that are like at a distance from you if you want to take them out like that, or even just try and sneak around enemies without getting into combat with them. Like they said that there's gonna be different multiple ways for you to handle different situations, so I'm looking forward to seeing what that's going to be like. And just from what we saw in the developer direct, it seems like there is a lot of promise and potential behind the ideas that they're talking about and showing for the Great Circle. They also talked about, in regards to the whip, being able to use it for traversal. So we saw Indy using it when he was trying to zip line on down from somewhere. We saw him use it to climb up a wall. We also saw him use it to climb and like pull himself up onto a blimp. So the whip is going to be getting so much use to this game, so much versatility. I am very excited to really feel like Indiana Jones with the whip, with the gun, punching Nazis in the face. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be a blast. Now, of course, this being a video game and an action-adventure game at that, and an Indiana Jones game on top of that, there's going to be some big set pieces. And we saw, I feel like, a glimpse of one or two in there. The one that really stuck out to me that you see at the end of the trailer is Indiana Jones. You know, he's like on the back of a fighter pilot, just like shooting at another plane coming up behind them, and then had to jump from that one onto the one that was chasing after him. It looked super crazy, super cool, super intense. So I can only imagine, if that's what they're showing us now, what other set pieces there are that are going to be all throughout this game. It just looks like a lot of fun. They got the tone right. They got the action right. They sold us on the gameplay and the perspective, or most of us, maybe. I don't know, but they definitely sold me on the first-person perspective and how they're going to approach the gameplay from that perspective. They had that sense of adventure, just seeing all these different places. I forgot the names of some of the places they mentioned, but just going all around the world. Like, I am all in on Indiana Jones in the Great Circle. I cannot wait to play it. And the best part is, it is coming out later on this year. I can't believe I didn't mention that earlier. Yes, later on this year at some point. Who knows when? I mean, Avowed is a fall game, so maybe this is like later in the fall or earlier in the fall, depending on when Avowed falls. Maybe this is a late summer game. Who knows? Anything is possible. I imagine we'll be hearing more about Indiana Jones and the Great Circle at Xbox's June summer showcase, or maybe if they do something before that, but June summer showcase is most likely when we'll get our next big, just Indiana Jones and the Great Circle blowout, a nice good look at it, and a release date. What did you all think of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, though? Let me know down in the comment section below all your thoughts on it. Are you as excited as I am, or were you a bit let down by the presentation? Did it not meet your expectations? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Also, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. That way you know as soon as new videos go live. My name is Tyler. This has been The Comfy Spot. We'll talk next time. Have a good one.